Hello. All right. So this week is on the website. If you go to the bottom, you'll see a link that's called "Clever Books for Clever Fish." It's my list of all of my. You know what? I can actually pull that up in here, can't I? It's a list of all of my favorite science books for people. Go down to the bottom. Go to Clever Books right here. Click it, maybe twice if you're on an iPad, and you're. I don't know. I just need to click it twice for some reason. And I actually give my list of these are the books that are so flipping great and you should love them. So if you're into chemistry, if you're into zoology, if you're into botany, if you're into anatomy and physiology, if you're into evolutionary science, if you're into environmental sciences, if you're into psychology, if you're into, or it goes blah, 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 blah. But then somewhere in here, philosophy's at the very end. I guess that's maybe the first one, right? Where it's the physics part. Well, somewhere in here, I have this book because this is just, I think it's the best science book. At some point, I'll make a video just about like how great of a science book this is and like why this is such a great science book. This is what you get to read this week. Oh, it's so good. Okay. I also realized that I don't think I'm actually doing the world's greatest job explaining why it is that like we think that we can even in 5 minutes get something valuable from doing this. I wanted to show you something. This comes from one of my favorite blogs, Cold Takes. If you go to cold-takes.com, you'll go to a Substack. Okay, reading books versus engaging with them. Let's say you're interested in a 500-page serious nonfiction book and you're trying to decide whether to read it. I think most people imagine their choice something like this. Just read the title, just takes you seconds, and then, people think that like, oh, the percent that I understand retain is like 1%. Skim the book, takes a few hours, maybe 33%. Read the book quickly, 8 hours, doubles that. Read the book slowly, 16 hours, doubles that. And right, and then the percentage, it isn't 100%, but all right. So this guy has a very different take on how much you actually understand by doing some of these steps. Pause for a second. How much do you think he's going to say the actual bars are from doing these things? Here's what he says. I see things more like this. Just read the title and the 1 to 2 sentences people usually say to introduce the book. Takes you seconds. He thinks that honestly, like the percent that he understands retains is probably like 10%. If you skim the book, it takes 3 hours, only 12%. If you read the book quickly, it takes like 8 hours. Like a little bit more, only 13%. Read the book slowly, takes 16 hours. How much? A little bit more, 15%. Now take a look, right? Like compare that to what he thinks that most people think, which is like, okay, if you read the book slowly, it's like 90%. I think he's right. I think there are exceptions to this. Actually, if you're interested, I can send you some blog posts by other favorite bloggers of mine that try to complicate this. Then, if you read reviews and discussion, it goes on like this, right? You can pause the book or pause this video, or you can just go to cold-takes.com and look up reading on it, and you'll get this. This is why I'm such a big proponent of skimming books. I really believe that if you walk into a bookstore or walk into a library and just pick up books at random and spend a few seconds on them, a few minutes on the ones that are interesting to you, you can literally learn a lot more than many people do who just spend hours and hours and hours reading books through. It's not just that what we are doing, this x-raying and tasting, is a lazy way of doing things, though it's that too. It's also that it might be a hyper-effective way of doing things. All right, so without any further ado, let's take this. We have no idea, a guide to the unknown universe. Turn that into a question. What do we not have any idea about? Oh, the answer is so good. There's a blurb on the front, accessible and entertaining. Cham and Whiteson, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I think it's Cham. Cham and Whiteson distill the essence of the little we know and the lots that we have no idea about. Okay, from nature, it seems important. Go ahead and read the back of it. I'll just read the beginning. Why does the universe have a speed limit? What or who is attacking Earth with tiny superfast particles? What is dark matter and why does it keep ignoring us? I heard this book reviewed and the author interviewed, interviewed on NPR when the book first came out in, I think, 2017. And I fell in love with the book then. It took me years to actually get it to read it. And it's changed my understanding of science. I'm going to go to the front where I'm going to take a look and find the table of contents. What's the universe made out of? I know I'm doing it backwards. Who cares? What's dark energy? Mysteries of mass? What is space? This chapter, what is space? This is the chapter that this whole class, this whole lesson that we just did is based on. If you do nothing else from this book, I mean, if you do the 5-minute X-ray and taste, taste test, sampling, taste sample. What's the word that we use for that? Tasting, book tasting. But then if you read one part of it, read What is Space? It's so good. Can we travel faster than light? How many dimensions are there? Who is shooting super fast articles at the Earth? What an interesting way of proposing that. You get the sense from that. You go to the index at the back. Wormholes, weak force, unknown concepts, antimatter, the universe. See also the Big Bang. Oh, whoa. Isn't that cool? Like maybe we can call, maybe like the Big Bang is the universe, right? So like we could just like call the universe the Big Bang. Oh, it's cool. Supernovas, stars, standard models of physics, speed, science, science fiction, space, compared to goo from pages 100 to 105. Physics, planets, Planck's constants, gravitons, calculus, dark energy, and aliens. There's a whole bunch about aliens. And then, you take a look. Ooh, oh, wow, at the back, there's a bibliography. I didn't even know this. I didn't even see this before. See? See? Sorry. So look at that. And then, you kind of should kind of pick through this. Now, again, part of what makes this book so flipping fantastic is that it's hilarious. There's, little drawings on almost every page. This is actually the rare page where there's not a drawing on there, although there's some other stuff. They're always funny. The paragraphs are always funny. This is not a normal science book. This is the greatest that science books maybe can be. Oh. Enjoy this.